Season finale.
Oh my God, girl. Dear listeners, it took us 4 minutes to decide whether we're going to record it, so it's going to be an episode.
That was amazing. We really had like a weird moment there. That was one of the most awkward periods I think we've ever had before.
God almighty.
It was like one of those movies where.
So I have something very important that I need to say.
What?
Something that I'm sure nobody on this podcast pays any attention to.
Okay.
Monet Exchange needs to burn her wigs.
Oh wow, you're just going for the jugular immediately.
Do you not agree?
I think a couple of them are cute.
For a quote-unquote all-star queen of all queens level, I think her outfits suffer because the hair is not good enough.
No, I would agree with that. Actually, I would very much agree with that. Like, the only time that her hair does well with the outfits is when because she only seems to do elevated hair whenever she's doing like African-American style like looks.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I would actually have to agree with you with that because all the other looks are like, she just like throws on some hair.
Like the one yesterday, or the one this past week, that little curly cheap. It's so cheap. Like, it is such a cheap wig. Yeah. And I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's a couple $100 wig. But, like, it looks so cheap. It looks... Just go bald-headed. Right?
Well, she can only do that so many times. and technically, Shay was doing that, so...
And when she came out, like, I don't remember if it was this week or the week before, when it was the, like, take one of Rue's looks.
Yes.
And she picked the one with the glasses. I hated the look. I hated what she did with it. Because she just wore what every drag queen wears. She just wore full bodysuit, whatever. She missed an opportunity. I will tell you what opportunity she missed right now. Dear listeners, I'm punchy, so I am just spilling the tea all over the place. She should have taken a huge sponge and made it her eyepiece. It's her thing.
I actually like that idea. Yeah.
It's her thing. Make it her own. It looks like an eyepiece. What?
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 Dear listeners, this is actually our second podcast today, and this is all like, it's like something just happened, and when Mims came back from consciousness, like, she is a different person now.
I am every once in a while, y'all. It's because we're going to get through this podcast, y'all. It is going to be an adventure.
This is exciting. This is our season finale for
this. But I am excited. Do you not think I'm excited? Do I not seem excited to you, babe?
I'm not going to say the word excited. You do seem animated.
Speaking of...
Yes? What's happening right now?
Speaking of what's happening right now, we have a podcast. I was trying to pull something else out of you, and I couldn't get anything.
I do believe you have lost your mind in the last 10 minutes. I think that the weird introspection that you did trying to decide if we're going to do a second podcast has broken you.
Speaking of breaking me, did you know that we have a Patreon, babe? If you go to patreon.com, Mims and Maim, please throw us somebody. Maim.
Hey, listeners, you're getting some raw stuff right now. This is catching me as much off guard as you.
Maim, did you know that we have another podcast?
Yes, I did.
You did.
I'm afraid to say no. I'm afraid to say no this time around. Because you might lose your mind and try to stab me or something.
It's called Baking Sugar.
Yes, our Designing Women podcast.
I can get it out. It's a Designing Women broke Maim. Oh.
I'm not looking forward to my mom saying, "Is he okay?"
I am. It's just been.
It's debatable.
It built up and it just overflowed. And
He
here we
builds
are.
me up. He fills me love, my love that I ever see.
I need a
Some
sip
Whitney.
of water. Hold on.
Not Wawa. Oh, Wawa for Maim and Mims. We do this all the time, talking out our asses
Are you done?
with a squirt of lime. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
I
done.
don't want to talk out my ass, and I don't. Oh God. God.
You're so stupid.
Did you hear that the dude in North Carolina got James Beard Award?
A guy in North Carolina got a James Beard Award
Yeah, the Saltbox.
in Nashville.
No, Durham.
Oh,
It's a Saltbox fish joint.
oh, I watched
it's a
something about the
Durham
Beard Awards.
staple.
Okay, no, I'd
Yeah.
watched something about the Beard Awards, but the only person that I wasn't watching closely, but the only one that I had heard from North Carolina was like a place that got nominated in Asheville.
Curate. She always gets nominated.
Oh, okay, so yeah, that's all. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an old black man who's had a fish joint there forever.
Ooh, Mama's gonna have to eat there.
Well, if
Yes.
Mom ever comes up here,
Mama will come up there sometime. But don't be crazy right now.
well, speaking of Mama coming
I
up
know
here,
you ain't talking as much as you traveling all over the place. As much as you all on the road and stuff. Half the time I get up there, you probably won't even be there.
Girl, I am sorry that my real job pays me to go to Bristol, Pennsylvania and San Diego, California. You are more than welcome to join me at either location, as I do have a free hotel room. Do you want to come to Bristol? I apologize, not Bristol. I actually stay in Langhorne. Do you want to stay in Langhorne, Pennsylvania? Let me tell you what's there, girl. Let me tell you what's there. There's a Target. There's a Kohl's. There's a ShopRite and a CVS.
That's more than
There's
Stetson.
also Sesame Place, which is the Sesame Street Kids theme park.
There's a theme park there?
Yes.
Can I get a picture with Elmo?
Yes, you can actually.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
this actually sounds more appealing than you probably
Girl,
thought
it's
it would.
$15.
I mean, I can get a picture with Elmo and a Big Bird, Bert and Ernie. That would be worth $15 technically.
Well, you also have to pay to get to Langhorne.
Oh.
I'm not paying for your plane ride, girl.
Oh, well, I thought you were inviting me on like a trip.
I'm inviting you to pay for yourself.
Oh, well, that's not the same, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean,
Girl, this is how white people invite people to things. You are welcome to come if you can pay for. And that's not true at all. That is not true at all. We usually pay for everybody and their brother and their sister. No, ma'am. I am not that person. I will buy you a meal.
Oh, wow.
Buy you a meal.
What's the best restaurant in Langhorne?
I told you about Margaritas, the Mexican restaurant that came through New Hampshire.
You did. Yep.
No, that's not it. There's some pretty good Italian places. I shouldn't knock it. There's a couple of good Italian places there.
Okay.
Because there's some New Jersey Italians there.
Oh, New Jersey Italians.
Yes.
That's not really New Jersey, is it? That's really like I don't know. It's like a different part of the Northeast, I think. Ooh. So that was more like Macho Man Randy Savage.
Macho Man.
I've never
Tony
done that
Shalhoub.
one. Tony Shalhoub. What about Tony Shalhoub?
He was the scene in Addams Family Values where Sean Cusack, the sailor that pulls her off the thing when they're singing Macho Man, is Tony Shalhoub.
Shut up.
Yup.
That is wild. Oh my gosh. I'm like seeing it in my head.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Weird.
It's Tony Shalhoub.
I just found out today. I didn't know if you knew this or not. Did you know that like Maury Povich has been like actually like doing like like TV and talk show stuff since like the 70s.
Yes.
I did not know that.
How?
Like, I wasn't alive then.
Weren't you though?
Ooh.
Weren't you?
Are we doing that now? Is that what we're doing right now?
Weren't you? Yeah, baby.
I don't like you right now. Let's go ahead and get into the
This
episode.
is season 1, episode 23. Funeral at 50 Mile. So we're starting off in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
And then there's some beautiful mountains.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely in big sky country.
Oh, beautiful,
For spacious skies, for amber waves of green, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. On
with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Play ball.
Oh, God.
Public domain. That's public domain song. Public domain.
Hopefully it is. Anyway, we find out that the middle of nowhere is actually 50 Mile, Wyoming. And we are at a funeral.
Aww,
and this funeral is great because it goes through 90% of the characters immediately. We have Mary the daughter, Art the fiance, Tim the brother, Doc Wallace, Sam Breen, and Bill Comedy as friends. And we find out that John Carver is the one who's dead.
Oh, so why is Jessica there?
We don't know that yet, but we're getting there. We haven't seen her yet. But an RV shows up.
I love this woman.
And there's a man and a woman.
Oh my God. I love it so much.
We pan to Mary, the daughter, who is in a black kerchief. She's wearing a black doily on her head. The CBS costume part was like, we need a black headdress. We've got this doily. Fine.
We'll use it.
It's
just
fine.
Use it, please.
Throw it on her head. Do we
it.
need to style it? Nah, fuck that. She's not even wearing a black dress. She's wearing a white dress. She's just got a black coat on. Whatever. Moving on.
So virginal.
So we meet Sally and Carl. They're the RV guests, and they are not welcome.
Well, they should just get out of town.
JB's here.
Oh, Jessica, hi.
Them.
Hey.
And she's talking to Mary about how sad she is that Jack's dead. And we know that your mom died in childbirth. Just throw that guilt on her, Jess. Just throw that guilt on her.
Grow that guilt.
Grow that guilt. God.
Grow it, Jess.
There's going to be a lot of my voice today because there's going to be a lot of it. So we're back at the ranch. Hey, Jess, you want some of this fine dandelion wine?
No, Doc, but you sound like you should have a lozenge.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm sorry about that. Let me take a sip of water over here. There we go. God, that hurt.
That's commitment right there. That's commitment.
Oh, good.
I didn't know
Maim.
that Mims was a character actor until just now.
Maim.
Yes.
I've got very important news.
Oh, okay.
There's a storm coming in.
Oh no, get the chickens.
Tim owns the ranch next door. He was gonna, get the ranches back together to into one huge ranch, and then make sure Mary was seen to for the rest of her life.
Oh, well, that's just wonderful.
So we also meet Ed Potts, the local sheriff.
Hey, Ed.
He likes to be called Marshall. He's real dumb.
Oh, okay. Hey, Marshall. What's up?
And he calls the Jess's books darn good for a woman.
Nothing wrong with that statement, right? Just a little bit misogynistic, a little bit sexist.
So Tim's talking about the will a little bit more, and Sam, the family lawyer, is like,
There is no will.
I'm sorry, Sam. You have a frog in your throat. What was that again?
Excuse me. There is no will.
For a split second, I'd forgotten the ending, and now I'm like, oh wait, poor Mims, poor Mims. It just hit me. I was like, oh no.
I'm going to end up shattered after this episode.
Maybe that's why you're so hesitant.
You think, girl? Oh, God. If we don't keep going, we'll never get done. Oh, God. So, toot, toot, the RV's a tootin'.
Oh, hey, lady.
Carl and Sally, come on in.
Oh my goodness, Sally, how's it going, honey?
And, well, Carl has the a will.
Oh.
And it says that he now owns the house.
But wait, what about the dude's daughter?
Well, there's a fight that's ensuing. Everybody's yelling at everybody else, and who knows what's going on at this point.
It's like Spider-Man's pointing at himself.
Yes. So that disperses, and Carl claims to know Jack from the war, Korea to be exact. And JB's husband was their commanding officer.
Wow, so that's how Jessica knows the family.
Yes. So it's a little bit later.
I gave Mary some sleeping pills. Just give her some Valium and shut her up.
Oh, thank you, Doc. You should have a Sucrets also. Thank you.
And Sam is like,
Well, that will seems to be genuine.
Jessica's like, is it me? Does everybody sound similar today? Is it something that's
well,
going
they're
on?
all old white men.
Oh, okay, that's it. That's what it is. That's the thing that connects them all.
So the men then leave to go batten down the hatches.
Mm. Get your chickens in.
But before they do, Sally and Carl have a funny moment where they arm wrestle.
Oh.
Sally's like, you know what? I can even beat you at arm wrestling, and I bet you $500 that you can't beat me. And he's like, fine. And he loses. And she goes out and says, hey, you chase him out. You didn't give me the full 500. And like we see everybody batting down some hatches, closing some stuff down, blah, 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 blah. Later on, we're in the truck. It's after all the storms already gone by. We're in the truck.
Yeah.
And Art thanks Jesus for dropping him off at the house because his truck got stuck.
Thank you, Jesus.
And he says gracias.
Gracias.
And Jesus wanders off to the barn.
Okay, all right. Nothing.
I have the
Oh Lord, your notes.
Carl's hung.
Oh, we're children.
Dear listeners, Carl's dead.
Dun, dun.
Oh God, where are we at? So the sheriff shows up.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sounded like the sheriff of Nottingham.
Or Sheriff Taylor from Maryberry.
Oh, good. Shut up, Nancy. Oh my God, maybe I can do a sheriff of Nottingham from the.
Oh, maybe we have a new podcast where we'll do Robin Hood's new adventures.
Well, Nancy.
Oh,
my
actually,
God.
that actually might be good. Actually, now that I said that out loud, we might do an improvised Robin Hood.
Oh. As a podcast?
Sure, why not? They do improvised Star Trek and improvised. Well, why not?
Okay, well, we can do that.
Ooh,
So who would we be?
I'd be Maid Marian.
No, one of us, we'd have to be Robin Hood and Little John, and then have guests on to be the other people.
Oh, I
That
like that actually.
That would have to be, or, yeah, something like that. Or, one of us could be the sheriff, one of us could be Robin Hood with guests on.
Oh, I'd love to be. I guess if you're the sheriff,
we can flesh that out later. We can flesh that out later.
Let's workshop that later. Let's workshop that later.
Let's workshop that later. Workshop that later. It'll never happen. Let's workshop that later.
Our listeners are like, wait, no, make it happen. That might be funny. We'll workshop it later, which means we're not going to do it. So it's fine.
So JB kept him hung.
By the chimneys with care.
And the sheriff's like, well, I see him. Take him down, please.
Yes. I have to admit, of all of the law enforcement folks so far, he was my favorite one because he's so just whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah. So he's never handled a murder before, and JB's like, this obviously is not a suicide, right? Because there's blood that shows that a object hit him in the head. The rope was supporting the weight, and there's the beams show that the weight was already on the rope when it was lifted up.
Well, the doc looks at him and finds out he's been dead for 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Poor Carl.
Poor Carl. Poor Carl. What you gonna do? So, anyway, it's later on. And Mary mentions that Carl went to see her dad in the hospital. And the nurses were the witnesses on the wheel. Just
Weird.
like you, Maim, it's blackmail. It's so good to be right now. Hi, babe. Do I need to delete that joke, babe?
No. No. It's true.
Just Native American male didn't sound right.
It's true.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm coming back.
Are you?
We find out that Bill and Carl have a past.
Oh.
They have a lover's tryst, which ended up being business only, and Bill lost a lot of money in grain.
Now people are going to be listening to this like, wait a minute, what? They did this in the 80s on CBS? What? That doesn't sound right.
So it's dinner time, and Mary calls Sally a rhinestone cowgirl, and Sally calls Mary Orphan Annie, and they are like, well, Sally's like, well, this is my place because, you know, widows' rights. What? So the sheriffs ask everybody where they were.
We were all in the stables, helping people and, you know, moving stuff around and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And then Tim says,
Branchers used to hang dead bodies of like jackals and stuff to warn people not to come by, blah, 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 blah.
Mary was out on drugs. JB was in her room, and Sally was sleeping off probably some alcohol in the RV. And Sheriff is like, well, only a man could do this. So it obviously was Art.
Oh.
No, it definitely wasn't Art. It definitely wasn't Art.
How do you know?
Well, because that's what everybody says.
No, I was mirroring the episode.
I know. So we're at the pickup now. They finally get out of all that dirt, you know, because we found out that that's where he was at 3:00. He was stuck in the dirt, running around with Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Muy caliente.
Oh my goodness. Muy bueno, muy bueno, muy yes. Muy bueno.
Es una pasiva. No necesita saliva. Anyway, those are two lines I think you can understand even with your broken Spanish.
Unfortunately, I totally do.
I know.
Wow.
Anyway, rather than worrying about why no saliva is needed, Art's arrested. Well, next day, what's up?
It's like, but it's so like, it seems so wrong, right? Art was just getting his freaky on in the storm with Jesus.
I know, with Jesus, but nobody listens to a Mexican.
It's true. Back then, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's next day, and we're at the station. And JB is talking to the policeman. She's like, the killer was left-handed, Art is right-handed, and there's absolutely no motive because Sally gets everything. Well, the sheriff just stomps out annoyed, and we find out that
Sam's gotten bail.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, the sheriff got a call from the coroner.
Oh.
He found out that the blood in the head didn't hit him. Lord have mercy. Didn't kill him. It was actually the hanging that killed him. He was hit in the head afterward.
What?
Uh-huh. Wow. Ain't that some shit?
This is some shit.
Well, now we're at the doc's office, and we meet Alice, the secretary. She's also the local operator, so she knows everything goes on in this town.
Of course, because the operator knows all.
She said, so Jess asked to look at his files, and it's the only time that the doc lost his temper was when a guy went through the files.
Oh, okay.
Find out it was Carl.
Carl went through the files?
Carl went through the files.
Oh, no. Carl, what are you doing?
Well, now we're back at the ranch.
Okay.
And Mary is wearing some culottes.
She is.
And then we go inside, girl, and there is a painting of an Indian right there. I don't know if you saw this painting. I don't. It looked like a cheap copper relief painting. It was. Well, Sally has a hangover.
She does. Can I just say? So, let me say this little sidebar. So. One of the strangest things I experienced on the 4th of July this year, which was Sunday, was going to the Super Target that I go to. And there's a restaurant there called Geronimo's Grill, which already is problematic. But what was more problematic is seeing a place called Geronimo's Grill with 4th of July USA flags everywhere. And I thought, please, for the love of all things holy, like, don't you people have any context for what you're doing at all? It's just not. Oh my gosh! Like, this is just a. Sorry, I just had to share that.
It's okay. It's okay.
I forgot until you just said that, and I was like, yeah.
"Let it out, girl. Let it out. Let it all out."
Good gosh! And if you don't know what's wrong with that statement that I just made, please go do some history reading, please.
So Sally has a hangover, and we find out that Sally did not know what information Carl had. Okay?
Oh.
Art's back.
Hi, Art. What's up?
And JB's like, you know what? I think, Sheriff, if you really don't think a woman could do this murder, why don't you go arm wrestle Sally?
Uh-oh, she's setting him up.
Setting him up. And so we're Sally's undressing her hands and everything, and we see a zoom in where she's got a white bit of her arm from where she was wearing a bracelet.
Very important to point out on that.
She won the arm wrestling, and we find out she's left-handed.
Mm-hmm. Does
I'm
that
scrolling.
mean what I think? Does that mean what I think it means?
What does it mean?
Do. That means something's up with Sally.
I was trying to think of a Sally song, and there's
Sally's...
Oasis. So Sally can wait. We know
yeah.
it's too late before. You don't like
It's
Oasis?
Karaoke has sort of messed me up with Oasis songs, to be very honest with you. Don't Look Back in Anger is one of those ones that people love.
It's true.
Love
It's true.
to sing.
It's true. It's true.
And I never respected Oasis that much until listening to other people drunkenly try to sing it. And then I realized, wow, they had some great voices. Because hearing other people, oh boy.
Yep. So it's later that eve. And Jessica is asleep, and she wakes up, and there's a hangsman's noose outside of her window. So now we're at breakfast.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Sally shows up, and she's flirting with Art.
Okay.
And the sheriff comes to arrest Sally.
Because Sally definitely did it. She's the one who killed
Sally definitely did it.
Right, she killed him, right?
And Sally's like, well, why couldn't any of these men did it? They were all alibis for each other. Foreshadowing.
Oh, foreshadowing.
Well, it had... Wait, what?
What's wrong?
Oh, JB's like, Sally, why don't you tell him why you definitely don't have a motive to do this? So I was like, what? And JB's like, girl, you ain't Carl's widow. I know from two reasons. One, you've been calling a bunch of like place in Nevada to do a fake marriage certificate, and number two, the ring that you have as a prop, there's no blonde mark up underneath. Girl. So Sally's like, fine, I'm done and I'm gone. And JB's like, well, the murderer is tall, strong, and ambidextrous.
Oh, I know ambidextrous. She's nice.
She is. So Mary and Art leave, and JB approaches the doc. And she's like, you know, you're left-handed. He's like, yeah, I know.
Oh.
How did you? Well, but I'm not ambidextrous.
She's like, no, but the noose was tied by a right-handed person.
Oh.
And she's like, I'm going to go walk down to the barn and, like, look around for a little bit.
Oh, you shouldn't don't do that.
So the doc follows her, begs her not to go, not to let anything out.
So we're at the barn, and the boys say they did it together. So the story is Carl was a ranch hand who tried to seduce Jack's wife. He raped her.
Whoa.
He ran. Yeah. He tried to run. They strung him up to scare him. He then turned them over to the authorities. He escaped during that point, and Jack's wife was pregnant. Got pregnant from the rape. Carl guessed it was his, came back, stuck into Doc's office to see Jack's file to find out Jack was sterile. That night, a horse ran in when Doc was in there and all the other guys were in there. Where Carl was working, they tried to scare him, and as they were scaring him, thunder struck, and the horse ran.
Oh, no.
His neck immediately broke.
Did the horse have anything to say about that? Dang it! I thought you were going to do the
very long face.
I thought you were going to say nay with the killer voice.
Nay. Better.
That's all I wanted. That's it. That's all I wanted.
Hello,
Thank
Wilbur.
You. Oh my gosh. That's all I wanted. That's it. That was
What?
it.
Hello, Wilbur.
Yeah.
Mr. Ed, hello, Wilbur.
I used to love that show.
Wilbur. I did too.
Gosh, I used to love that show.
Uh-huh. Anyway, JB's like, well, what happens next? They all decide to go to the sheriff and to stand trial, but the secret of the rape will never get back out because Mary has suffered enough. Do 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 do. Well, Maim, did you enjoy this episode?
Oh yeah. I mean,
I did too.
Once again, the more ridiculous it can be, the more confounding it can be, the more you're sitting there saying like, that's not right. The more that happens, I love it. I will say my favorite part about this episode is at the very, well, not the very beginning, but when Jessica and the sheriff are first looking at the dead body.
Yeah.
I literally could not get enough of like Jessica really doing everything she could to lead him down the pathway to just being like, she was almost sounding like an idiot. She's like, what about this sheriff? And what about this sheriff? Like, she doesn't normally go that far with these.
No.
I was like, I love that they're pushing how dumb the guy is because like she is basically just doing the entire investigation this time.
I really enjoyed this episode. I think this is my favorite episode.
What?
At a good way to like it. It's the best mystery episode of all of them so far. Do you not agree?
I think so.
Okay, my favorite episode is probably the one with the writer.
Yes, I mean,
he's so good. He is just a great actor and a fun actor. But this is probably the best murder mystery episode.
It's so hard for me to decide. It really is.
You don't have to. You don't have to, girl.
I just love them all so very much, and
I mean, you don't have to decide.
And this is still just the first season. It's gonna get even crazier from here.
Oh God. Well, Maim, Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes, you can find me. Yes, House Town Boots. Yes, no. You can find me on Instagram at
Introduce yourself first.
Sorry, dear listeners. I know we introduced ourselves at the beginning of the podcast, but
that's
so
not how people do anymore.
What?
That's not how they do anymore.
Fine. Hi everybody. I'm your favorite relation, Auntie Maim. You can find me on Instagram at auntie_maim.
And underscore. My name is just 7 underscores.
Just .. __. That's me. You can find me on Twitter at Maim Ministry. You can find me in real life. I perform in real life as well. So if you are down in the South Florida area, I perform improvised comedy at the Villain Theater in Miami, which you can find out more at villaintheater.com. I host a stand-up show called Laughs at Lit at the Lit Bar in Wilton Manors. And I also host a weekly cabaret karaoke show called Amazing Colossal Karaoke at the Kill Your Idol Bar in Miami Beach, which is every Thursday night from like 10 o'clock till late. So you can come hang out, come say hello, in case you just happen to be down here. How about you, my dear sweet friend, also Dick Mims?
Hey, y'all. I'm the @thedivinemissmims. You can find me on Twitter at @thedivinemissmims. You can find this podcast on Twitter at YouSlayMePod. Hey, Maim.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Patreon. You can find it www.patreon.com. Mims and Maim. Hey, Maim.
Yes.
We have another podcast.
What?
It's called Baking Sugar. Look for it wherever you get your podcasts today or tomorrow.
Well.
And also, I've got some stuff in the works. And yes, I know I keep saying that, but I'm actually doing it tomorrow. I think maybe. And by this Sunday, I'll be able to actually, announce it. And you'll find something out maybe later, maybe not. But we'll see. Oh no!
I hold nothing anymore. I hold nothing anymore.
I who have nothing.
Girl, don't get me started.
I who have no one.
I love that song so much.
I know, me too.
Oh,
Controversy at Brave Opinion.
yes.
I really love the Jordan Sparks version. Is it as good as Shirley Bassey's? No. But
Okay,
I do
that's
love
all. That's fine. I'm just you qualified it, so I was fine once you said that, because at first I was like,
I knew.
I'm rethinking our entire friendship now,
I knew.
all 100 years of
what
it.
you were. I saw it. I saw it behind your eyeball.
Like 100 years of friendship. Just now, I was like, is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Let me work it. Let me flip this
my
thing
thing down, flip it and reverse
it. It's your flipping if a flat yad. It's your flipping if a flat yad. If you got a big, let me search it.
Happy season 1, Mims.
Happy season 1, Maim. Do you have anything else to add?
No, get ready for season 2. It's gonna get crazy.
Say goodnight, Maim.
Good night, babe.
Bye, y'all.